Okay, welcome everybody. I wanted to give a overview of how this course works. Please keep in mind first off and right off the bat that this is a DLON class. And with the DLON courses, there are no live lectures, no live meetings, nothing is live at all. This means that this is a kind of course where you're pretty much doing everything on your own in regards to when to go online, when to look at the materials, when to review notes, and certainly when to ask questions. I recommend two things then. Make sure you're doing this often. Don't wait till last minute. Don't start studying a day before the exam. Start doing so now. And certainly when questions arise, ask those questions immediately. Send me a message. I'm very good at getting back to people. I'll talk more about emails and how emails work in a minute. And then let me know what's going on. I'm confused on something in the syllabus. I'm confused on when a test date is. I'm confused on how, I don't know, eating eggs may or may not be good for you. Actually, I bring that up for a reason. I'll show you something in a second. Whatever it may be, don't wait. Science, of course, I'm sure you've seen before, is one of those kind of fields where if you let the information build up, it kind of snowballs on you. And I do not want that to happen. So talk to me as often as you want, and I will get back to you again as soon as I can. Even though there's no live meetings at all, you are welcome to schedule Microsoft Teams appointments. And I'll explain more about that in a few moments. If you choose to do that, generally those kind of meetings last for about an hour to an hour and a half. That's student driven and it's live. It was like you at your computer, yeah, but it's like you would have gone to my office hours and you're having this back and forth real time. You can ask me a question, I answer right away, that kind of idea. I can bring up notes like you're kind of seeing now. And you can have this more dynamic interaction in that regard. You can, again, go over subject matter, you can go over an exam, whatever you like. And I'll talk about that more in a minute. But again, make sure that you're staying on top of this. There's several different kinds of classes that offered at HEC. Traditional face-to-face courses, online, but online is broken down into DLive. DLive would have live lectures, but everything's online. DLON, which is what this is, and then of course hybrid, kind of a mix of on campus and online. So make sure this is the kind of course you want. Doing a fully online class takes a lot of discipline. You have to be on top of the subject matter. You have to be self-driven. You are the one effectively controlling the courses. Even for the schedule, I'll show you in a moment. The dates I have in there outside of the exams, those are our suggestions. You know, when to study chapter 1, when to study chapter 2. That's up to you. Now the dates are firm, and of course I'll go over that in a minute. But everything else is kind of on your shoulders. It's a unique experience if you've never done online before. And I've done it at both. I've done it as a professor. I've done it and doing it as a student. For example, this semester, I'm doing another graduate program. This one is in space studies, so it's space science. Even though it's through the University of North Dakota, so it's really far away from here, everything then is online. So I had to be very disciplined, not just my work schedule, but then my other duty schedule for HCC, and then of course to make sure I budget when I'm going to go online, watch the material that might be there. I have videos for you from time to time, that kind of idea, or when to read the notes, certainly when to ask professors questions, when to schedule some sort of meeting with them, that kind of idea. I have to be on top of that, just like any other student would. So make sure that's what you want. I don't want you getting halfway through this course and realize, oh my gosh, online is just not for me. Okay, I mean, learning experiences are learning experiences, but I would like for you to be sort of aware of what's happening right up from the front. All right, with that said in mind, again, welcome to Nutrition and Drugs. I teach a lot of different courses for HNC. I'm qualified to teach both the biological and the physical sciences. Of all those classes I teach, biology classes, so whether it's majors biology or a non-majors bio course, or this one nutrition or drugs, or human reproduction and inheritance, or environmental science, or marine biology, or zoology, or I flip over to the physical science side and I do earth science or geology, whatever it is. There's some courses that seem a little bit more esoteric than others. This is not one of those. This is one of those courses, no matter what you choose to go into in life, can absolutely be beneficial to you. If I get sort of pinned down to the subject and asked, if I had to pick one thing in my daily life that is probably the most impacting thing, there's a lot of things you can choose from. You can choose from stress. You can choose from a proper and sort of consistent sleep regime. You can choose from diet, of course, exercise, a lot of things I would choose. And all of those things are massively important. But pretty close, if not at top of that list, is your diet. What you eat is immensely impacting to you. And pretty much anything that you put in your body is going to have effect. And you need to be cognizant of that. The little things do matter. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have a life. Probably the biggest bane in my life when it comes to nutrition would be crisps. frickin' crisps. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, they just sync with me, unfortunately. So I gotta be really careful about it. How many of those little buggers I'm gonna eat? Pizza, love pizza. Can I have it once in a while? Sure, as long as I'm not like allergic to it. And of course that comes up. Celiac comes up in my world. So, gotta be cognizant of these things. Yeah, maybe enjoy a slice of pizza once in a while. But is it okay to just sit down and have a slice of pizza or eat the whole frickin' pie? And how often are you doing that? Is that a weekly occurrence, a monthly occurrence, semi-annually? How often are you doing these things? So this little things idea come to bear. And that's kind of what this course is, how this can really impact your world. Now, when I first started teaching, not just at HCC generally, when I first came across this one, I've been at HCC now for, God, like 19 years now. And I remember the first time I came across this, I had a bit of a warning from another professor saying, be careful. The people who are here before you, this is really a fluff class. And people came in not learning anything. And they said, we don't want that anymore. We want to ensure the professors coming in now are teaching in like a true college level science class. Okay. So I came to the realization what their meaning was. Yeah, people came in thinking, yeah, we're going to study why apples and bananas and oranges might be good for you, and why juices may not be so good for you, and why crisps are kind of like the devil. That's not what this course is. I know why those things come up. For example, orange juice. Not so good for you. Unless your doctor sends you to drink a juice like orange juice, you might want to be careful. Orange juice, for example, not just high in sugar, lacking in fiber, those kinds of idea, but also if you drink it regularly, it can lead to things like gout formation. Oh my goodness. There was this like long 20-year study that showed that. Wow. Apple juice. There's some indications actually connected to oxalate crystal formation in the kidneys. That's like kidney stones. What if that apple juice could do that to you? I personally love apple juice, but much better to eat the apple, of course, than drink the juice. So these things do come up. But this is also a college level science class, which means there's a lot of science here, a lot of background. And you can't just say, well, protein's good for you. Yeah, okay. What kind of protein you're talking about, what context you're talking about, how often you're getting it, what forms you're getting it. Yeah, those things come up. But it also comes to bear like, what is a protein? What are its monomers? What a fancy word, eh? How do they build up? How does your body do that? How does your body realize I need this protein, therefore I need these constituents amino acids, and go through this process of ribosomal protein synthesis to construct a protein. And that's just the primary sequence, mind you, like the linear sequence. And once you got that, what your body goes through to fold this little sucker up, the secondary and tertiary structure, to have potentially a functioning protein. It's things like that. And a carbohydrate, sugars, simple sugars, complex sugars. What are they? How are they formed? How do you go from a simple sugar to a complex sugar? Why having a lot of fructose may or may not be good for you. Having a lot of starch may or may not be good for you. Having cellulose, probably much better for you. This kind of idea. Why can't you get energy out of cellulose? No animal can, mind you. Termites can't do it, by the way. Okay. So why do we eat it? Well, it's not so much for energy. It's for things like dietary fiber. Very important, by the way. But I'm not looking at I had bok choy earlier today. So I'm not looking at my bok choy thinking, oh, I'm going to get oodles of energy out of this. I'm thinking of the nutrients coming in and fighting cancer. And I'm certainly thinking of the dietary fiber. Now, there's probably other things in there that I can use and derive. Sure, absolutely. But if I'm having like a potato, yeah, that's packed with energy. The starchy substance versus, say, cellulose. That's what this course is. It's the science behind this, as opposed to just, yeah, you should really eat some bananas. And even then, I have students arguing, are bananas healthy? It's fun to talk about things like that, but it's also a lot of science. So kind of bear that in mind. The tests have a lot coming your way. So again, don't let this snowball on you. Okay, so with that in mind, HCC was very kind. If you're new to Canvas, you're new to how to use Canvas, they gave you some videos here. Watch them at your leisure. And it's not something I'm going to test you on. So just open things up. I usually recommend opening up in a new link like you just saw me do there. And you can flip over and there's a video and you can click on the video and watch it at your own leisure. So that's nice.
In this video,
as you can see, it's obviously working. So let's get rid of that. So there's some orientation videos and again, resources, that kind of idea. Very nice HCC. More for me, it's this. So notice I was kind of being playful, but notice the very first things here. The first two things are exactly the same. I meant that seriously. This orientation video, which obviously you're watching, is so important, especially in a D-Long class when I'm not there with you. To make sure, and I said, watch the orientation video, check the announcements. And then I say, watch the orientation video. And then I say, no, watch the orientation video. Why am I being a bit silly? Because I can go weeks into a semester, even months into a term. And a student say, well, I don't understand the syllabus. I didn't know I had to do this. Why? You've had the orientation video since day one. where I go over the syllabus. This is effectively what I would have done had I had you on campus in a traditional course. I would have gone over the syllabus the first day. It's effectively that, showing you how the course works. So did you watch the video? I'd ask the student. Did you read the syllabus thoroughly? Oh, well, yeah, I did. Really? What about this, and this is the video? Oh, and that's in the syllabus. Oh, and it almost always comes very, yeah, I never watched it. Or I watched it, but I didn't understand it. Okay. So first off, watch the sucker. You're watching it now. Good job. And then, of course, ask questions. The syllabus is a bit long, but the reasons for that. So again, watch it. You can watch it as often as you want. It's right here online for you. And then, of course, ask questions. And then there's your syllabus. Notice it's not just download or read it. It's understanding it. Now, I wrote it. I've had other people read it. I've used something very similar in this form in other classes. I would say 95% of the students have no problem with the syllabus. Yeah, it's long. There's reasons for that. I'll come back to that in a minute. But there's a student here and there that get grumpy about it, don't want to read it, say, well, I read it, but I don't get it, and didn't bother to ask me till way into the term. Don't do that to yourself. Whenever you read something, understand it. If you don't understand it, ask a question. And if you have 50 questions, maybe set up one of those Microsoft Team videos and let's talk about it. Thoroughly and completely understand your syllabus. And not just my course. This would be true for any classes. My syllabus is a bit long. It's, I forgot for your class, it's like 15 or 16 pages. So that's longer than you might have seen before. Longest I remember was like a 35-page syllabus. Got that at USF. Yeah, that was something to move through. There are reasons why these things are long. So again, read through it. The announcements link, there it is. I tend to be a communicative professor, but like anything else, it depends on what's going on. Some semesters I have to say more stuff than other semesters. So again, it just depends. But make sure, as I note here, to check it, including weekends, every single day, check it. So click on that link, go in there, and there you go. I already have a message for you. What do you know? And like anything else, you would just click on it and you would read the message, that kind of idea. So, but students don't realize this. I had a student, I think it was 2 semesters ago, that got really grumpy again, saying, well, I don't think, actually said this, I don't think I should have to check messages except for the day of the class. They were like in a Tuesday, Thursday class. No, that is not how it works. Anything can happen that affects this course on any day, anything. Everything from I'm sick, or I have to leave, or a hurricane comes through, or a pandemic happens, whatever it is. That's not waiting till Tuesday and Thursday to inconvenience your world. That could be on a Sunday. I'm recording this on a Sunday. What do you know? So again, check it every single day. You should. Anything could happen at any time, and I need to communicate with you. This is one of the best ways to do so. So again, check that regularly. So that was your announcements. The files link, you can see it there. We'll go over it. Pretty much everything you need in the course is there. Yes, you need the textbook still, but everything is there for you. And of course, the online materials in the McGraw-Hill book. Make sure it's there. There's a McGraw-Hill link. I'll show you that momentarily. And like I said, ask questions. Ask them early, quickly. Don't wait till you have 70 of them, that kind of idea. I've gotten that before. I've gotten an email with like 17 parts to it. Oh my goodness. Not only will that take me forever to get through it, I've got hundreds of students. But beyond that, I've got a hope in these 17 things I'm answering, which could have like sub questions within it, that you understand. At least if you're in my office, I can see expressions. I explain something that might be rather technical, and I can see if it's sinking in or not. All right, maybe I didn't explain it properly, or I explained it in a way that I understood it, but somebody else, but not whatever it is. So I might try again. I have no idea if that's happening in an email. So again, we'll talk about that more in a bit. There's again the course information. I have 2 sections of this. Oh, actually, that's an old section. My apologies. I thought I updated that. My apologies. I have 2 sections. They're identical sections. So I have this one and one other one. You're getting the exact same video because they're exactly the same course. Parity in classes, very important thing. I apologize. I will change that when I get a chance. And then, of course, my general contact information, including emails a little bit here as well. Notice this part in the emails. This is standard email protocol in the United States. 24 to 48 hours to get back to somebody, not 24 to 48 minutes, but I've had students do that. I emailed you 2 hours ago. Why haven't you replied? Wow. Well, gee, I was in class. I was in this. I was at a meeting. I have committee duties, whatever it was. Sorry, I wasn't there for you in the last 2 hours. Or they might send me an email Friday at 5. I don't even see it till Monday at 9 a.m. or Monday at 10 a.m., whatever it is. Why didn't you email me over the weekend? This might surprise you, but professors have a life, kinda, and we have family. We got to deal with that too. So again, remember how email protocol works. And there are plenty of times, even with HEC servers, I never get the email. So if you go 24 to 40 hours, it's roughly 2 business days without a reply from me. I may never have gotten the email. That's happened more times than I could possibly tell you. Try again. Send me a message through, I don't know, through Teams. I check that regularly too. You could do it. There's ways to communicate. Try to telephone me, that kind of idea. Whatever it is. I have an office phone number as well. It's in my syllabus. All right, so let's go to that files link. This is probably the most salient part of this video, as well as for the entire semester. Again, everything you need is right here for you, including the labs. We have quite a few activities to do. I think the syllabus notes we had to do 6 activities. We've got plenty. So this was a bit of a challenge, mind you. How do you take an online course and model it to be pretty much identical to what's on campus, especially when it comes to lab classes? Now notice this is a C course. If you're not familiar with what that means, this is combination lecture lab. You are effectively taking 2 classes at the same time. You are taking a lecture class and a lab class. So people, I get this not too uncommonly. Wow, there's so many things I got to flip over here, I'll flip over there, I'll flip over here. I don't like that. Why can't it just be one thing? Because it's 2 different classes. You have 2 different things going on, and then a lot of things within those 2 different things going on. This is a whole lot easier, of course, if you're on campus. I'm there regularly. Say, well, flip over to this page and go to that page. A lot easier in that regard. Even the D-Lives, where it's online, yeah, we have live lectures, right there on a Monday at 10 a.m. when the students are here with me. I say, okay, let's flip over to this page and I want to show you something. So much easier. But you're doing a D-Lon class. So get ready for that, which means you got to check this stuff regularly. Check your syllabus regularly. What am I supposed to be doing? And then, of course, labs, that kind of idea. So let's start with your syllabus then. All right, so there it is. Notice I've encoded pretty much everything in PDF, which means it should open up. You should have no problem opening up PDF. Just download Adobe. There you go. You're ready to go. So please don't send me an email saying I can't open it up. Yes, you can. Download Adobe. There you go. You're ready to go. All right. Welcome to Nutrition and Drugs. There's my contact information again. My office at HCC. I'm on the Denver campus. Please don't look for me anywhere else. My office phone number. We're still kind of on campus, off campus. There's still a lot of lingering effects from the pandemic. Don't have any idea the pandemic's over, first off, nor that it's just like going to go away. That's just not how pandemics work. And doesn't look like this one's going to work this way either. So again, I get like a lot of on-campus issues and off-campus issues. I'm there on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, unless something happens, of course. Mondays and Fridays, I'm not there. I'm dealing with online all the time. So again, even if you just pop by the Delmabry campus, good luck just catching me, unless you come to my formal office hours. I'll show you that in a minute. I have that listed in the syllabus. Of course, we'll get there. Now, these objectives, this is set down by the college. This is not usually any one professor that just went and said, here's what we're going to do. This is not me that I went through your book and said, here's what we're going to do. No, these are formally adopted objectives by the college. They are what they tell all professors teaching the course, saying this is what you're going to do. Okay, now within this, we could talk. We want to talk about, like we're talking about digestive process. I can bring up this video. I can talk about that part of the book, and I can bring up this experience I had, bring up this research paper I know of, whatever it is. Yeah, sure, there's academic freedom, but we still have to talk about these subjects. Notice it's robust. What is nutrition? How does it work in you? Scientific studies, of course, very important. How it works. Chronic health conditions. I think I mentioned celiacs. So again, digestive process, celiacs. That's kind of idea. Energy, really tough one. Energy. What is energy? This nebulous idea we have in science. Also, we'll talk about that and how that affects you, and so forth. There's that chemistry part. Don't have any idea you're going into biology and escaping chemistry and mathematics. That is not how biology works. I make my majors fully aware of this, that if they're going into biology as a major, they need to be really good at chemistry and mathematics. So again, it's going to be in the course. Yes, there's chemistry here, a little bit of mathematics, but it's not complicated. So again, we'll talk about the chemistry. It's in the notes, that kind of idea. It's in your chapters. You see what it's on, the vitamins and minerals and carbohydrates, fats and proteins. It's a lot of science there. It's not just, yeah, proteins are good for you. And it's not as more complicated to say, well, proteins have amino acids. Yeah, they do, but that's not where it stops. There's a whole lot more there. And so forth. You can see a lot here. Now, there's actually 2 parts of the lecture before you even get to the lab. There's a nutrition component, which is about 95% of the lecturing, and then a tobacco part. Now, there is nothing in your book on alcohol and tobacco. So there's nutrition and drugs. There's nothing there. Alcohol, tobacco, there's your recreational drugs, medicinal drugs, that kind of idea. So we have supplemental materials that are already posted online for you. I'll show you that in a minute. You don't need to go out and buy anything. So pretty much the only thing you need to purchase for this course is a textbook, and there should be a caliper, the bookstore. We're in the middle of transferring over for Barnes & Noble, running our bookstore, and there's been a whole lot of issues going on. And right now, they do not have your caliper listed for purchase. I've inquired why. I haven't gotten an answer to that yet. As soon as I know, I'll let you know. But outside of buying the book and hopefully the caliper, everything else, all the labs and all the the notes on the drugs, it's all there online for you. There's your 6 activities I was talking about. We got many of them, so no worries there. Labs are fun. They're kind of more fun if you're in person, I think, but they're fun. This would be really helpful though if you have a person you live with and you trust, mind you, that can help you out. Trying to do like a fold of skin on the back of your body is a little bit hard to do for an individual. So, having a significant other can be quite useful. But, we can work on that. You can send me an email saying, I don't got that. What can I do? And I'll give you suggestions on how you can do something, that kind of idea. Let's see. And of course, that little like tidbit at the end, how to deal with safety. It's not a good idea to eat food that's expired, 30 years ago. I mean, that seriously, there's a dude on YouTube that loves to find like World War I food and eat it. Don't do that. Don't eat the food. You're going to die, dude. So you got to be really careful. Water supplies, that kind of idea. Very important, of course, water. So again, these are set down by the college. And it's all there ready for you to go, but there's a lot of science here. Okay, now, as I said, this is a bit of a long syllabus. You get 16 pages. This comes out of the pandemic. Before the pandemic, I had all of like a 5-page syllabus, and it worked fine. I didn't see any issue. But again, everything was on campus. So I was there. I went over it. People asked questions. If they saw me the next day, I don't really get this. Can you say it again? Yeah, sure. This is what it's about. When I started teaching online, like a lot of people, we just got thrown online. No real training because who knew a pandemic was coming? And suddenly we had to scramble to figure out how to do this. Everybody did, not just HCC, but like everywhere across the US and even across the world had to figure this out. So I quickly realized, yeah, this 5 to 6 page syllabus isn't going to work. People would just come back and say, look, it's just not specific enough. Can you make it thorough? That was a one request I got over and over again. Please make your syllabus more thorough. Righto. So I sat down and thought to myself, all right, if I was giving this lecture on the syllabus on the first day of class, what would I say? And I wrote it out, and it came out to be 16 pages. Everything's here. Everything you need to know about the class is here, including COVID. It's not gone yet. In fact, as of late last week, we had like in-service. We got updated COVID policies, so they're here for you. So if you're wondering like, wow, I don't know what to do for exams, go here. All right, go to the exams, wherever they are. Go there is their examination. Go to exams. Say, all right, exams are on page 9. Let's flip over to page 9. Please don't send me an email saying, well, I don't know what to do for exams. Okay. Did you read your syllabus? Well, I don't see it. Really? Did you start with the table of contents? Did you go over to the page and read it? Again, I get those things all the time. It's a waste of your time, a waste of my time. I'm gonna come back to why that is when I get to emails. So this is here for your courtesy. Right, here's the COVID policy for HCC. This is from the college. This isn't something I wrote out. And the college said, here, this is what we want to have done. It's not gone, folks. It's not over in any way, shape, or form. There's indications it might come back. There's already another variant that's coming out of China. This one actually might not be a COVID variant, another virus issue that might be coming out of China as we speak. That might be problematic. It has nothing to do with that country specifically. I'm not saying, oh, look out. No, it's just that's where they first identified it. Again, these are issues. The fields that deal with pandemics, they've been saying for a long time that we were due for a pandemic. And sure enough, here we are. And so there's even a paper I just read recently talking about climate change. Yes, it's real, by the way. Sorry, I hate to burst your bubble, but that's what science says. It's not personal beliefs or what I want. It's just what the science says, the data says. And there's a paper I just read recently noting that with these changing issues on climate change as it affects the environment, it looks like pandemics are going to become more common. Fantastic. So again, buckle up. We'll see what happens. Hopefully nothing. We'll see what happens. So here's what they're saying. If you're feeling ill, yeah, don't come to class. Now, this is an online class. You might be wondering, well, why does he have that in his syllabus? Because I don't know where you're doing this. You might be on campus. I'm there 3 times a week. You might be on campus reading the notes and watching any videos and that kind of idea. So I want you to be safe. I want your colleagues to be safe, that kind of idea. So like the caller is saying, if you don't feel well, stay home. If you're already there and you're beginning to feel sick, go home. What do you know? If you're unsure if you're sick, stay home. Wear a mask. These are pretty direct. I am not going to get into the politics around wearing a mask. I'm just talking about the science. And the science is absolutely clear. We've known for, a century now that masks save lives. It's that simple. But you have to have the right mask in the right condition. Just that little thing people put over their face doesn't do a darn thing. And by the way, 9 times out of 10, I see people like covering their mouth but not their nose. Why even bother wearing a mask? In this case, then, with the latter variants, like the Delta variant, we were noting that the regular cloth masks were not effective. So it's not even just getting the right material and wearing it properly, it's knowing how to use them. Again, this is a big issue. So the official N95s, that kind of idea, were appropriate. A medical mask is appropriate, that kind of idea. And the college has some out for you from what I understand still. See, if you have a significant reduction of symptoms, you can come back to class, but only if you've been gone for 5 days. And you got to be home for a while, making sure you are getting over it. And then even if you come back, you're recommended to wear a mask. Again, if you're quarantined, talk to us. Might be able to work out. I can't do live lectures for you, but I can try my best to work things out with you, of course. So if you miss more than 3 classes, I have the ability to ask for a doctor's note before you would come to class, that kind of idea. Come to my office hours, that kind of idea. If you miss significant time, you can ask the Dean of Student Services, I believe it was. There it is, Dean of Student Services. You can start talking about incomplete grades, getting a late drop, that kind of idea. You can start inquiring in that. But you got to document these things. And then, of course, we have the right to ask you to be safe. Again, and wear a mask on campus if you've had this confirmed flu or COVID. Again, so this is college policy. This is not meaning way, shape, or form. Now, this is also, you might be wondering, why do you have this in an online class? I just kept it in to be thorough, if anything else. Again, I don't know where you're doing this online course at. Again, maybe you're in the hallway at HEC or the library at HEC, I don't know. So I was just donating to you, like I would say to my on-campus classes. Effectively, when you're on campus, when you're in class, pretty much the idea here is when you go to those places, don't be an arse. Seriously, don't. Be an adult. Don't disturb people. Don't come to class late. Don't talk too loud. Answer your cell phone in the hallways, that kind of idea. If you're in class, no side lecture, that kind of idea. If you're in class, try not to sleep. Usually a good thing, not sleeping in class. Don't leave late. Excuse me, don't leave early. Don't arrive late. There you go. If you're actually in a lecture class, be sure to read material before coming to class, that kind of idea. So this is all here to help you do well in a course. That's all it is. Again, it's mainly for my face-to-face, but I was trying to help you out, including depending on where you're studying the materials from. All right, so here's what you need in the course. This is the name of the book. This is the author. And of course, McGraw-Hill, even the ISBN number. I have it here, but it's also on the HC bookstore, which I'm noting to you here is now run by Barnes & Noble. There is also supposed to be this caliper. It was not listed in the Barnes & Noble site, so I've inquired. I haven't heard back yet. I'll let you know when I hear. Attendance. My CMOD, fully online class, but we have to try to track attendance somehow. That would be easier if we had live lectures, the D-Live classes. Fully online, live lectures, but we don't have that. So this is kind of what the college allows us to do. So you have this extra credit quiz you will be taking. You can see when it is, 8/24 of 22. Also, by the 26th of this month, you must send me an email stating that, yes, you want to stay in the class. If you don't do these two, you will be removed from the class. There's discussion boards that you need to participate in. You, of course, be turning in homework. You are required to turn in a Gordon rule that's required by the college. They chose this class for you. And of course, you'll be taking exams. These are all things I can use for attendance. If you want to drop the course, you have to do so formally with the college. You cannot send me an email saying, wow, it was great. It was kind of neat. I liked the material, but I'm out of here. Nice for me to know, but no professor could go online with a computer terminal and withdraw you from a class, add you to a class. We just can't do that. So you have to do it formally with HEC. The only way I can do it is kind of what I just talked about. If you never show up to class, which in a face-to-face means you never came to class. Here it means if you don't talk to me, you don't do the quiz or let me know you want to stay in the course, you will be removed from the class. Withdraw non-attendance. It's really the only way professors can withdraw a student. If you want to withdraw, though, you have to do it formally with HEC, drop withdraw. If you're on my rolls at the end of the semester, I have no choice but to give you a grade commensurate with the work you've done. And if you've taken one test out of, I think we have 4 in here, you're going to fail the class. And yes, you have every right to fail. Bear that in mind. Some students think, oh, I paid, I shouldn't fail. Not how it works. Here's my office hours. You can see on Mondays, 11 to 1:30, online only. Tuesdays, that is my office, T-side 223. You can see when I'll be there. I have a class that ends at 1:45, so something might happen. I'm running a few minutes late, but I'll get there as quick as I can by 2. I have to kind of squeeze it in because I'm also an advisor in an engineering club, and they usually have meetings on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, that kind of idea. So that's when it worked out. But if I'm running a few minutes late, just kind of bear with me. Wednesdays, you can see when it is. I'll be in my office, but just for a few hours. Thursday, there you go. Same thing as Tuesdays, and of course Fridays, online only. And with the online only, I'll get to your email as soon as I can. Kind of bear that in mind, like I talked about earlier. If you want to schedule a Teams appointment, you're welcome to do so. You have to send me an email. We have to work out a time that's amicable for us both. I've got a lot of classes, a lot of students. I usually have like a list of students for Teams. So you have to find a time that works for us both. If you've never used Teams, here's the link to do so. For email messages, A couple of things I do strongly request. When you email me, tell me who you are, please. It's not meant to be an insult. I have hundreds of students, and I not uncommonly have students with the exact same name. So let's say I have 3 Bob P. Smiths. It's happened before. So I get an email from Bob Smith saying, hey, what did we do today? Don't know, Bob, because I don't know who you are. Actually, I just got an email from a student that kind of happened. They said something of, I can't get the book. What do I do? Don't know, because I don't know what class you're in. I don't know what I need to go and look into. They didn't bother to identify anything except their name. That's problematic. So because I don't know who the person is, I've got to send an email back saying, well, who are you? My experience has been 9 times out of 10, I never get a reply to that. So we've already wasted our time. You wasted time sending me an email. I wasted time replying because nothing came about from it. But let's say I'm lucky and I actually get a reply to the email I sent, which means in email number 3, I'm finally getting to the heart here. You say, oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm Bob P. Smith in your online nutrition toast class. Great, which means in email number 4, I can finally answer your question. Here's what you should be doing. 4 emails to finally answer your question. So try and save us all a lot of time, including how long it takes to get back an email. Again, I'm usually pretty quick, but bear that in mind, things happen. There's your laboratory sessions, a C class. Remember, you're taking really 2 courses, a lecture and a lab class. I do not know if this satisfies your lab requirement. You have to go talk to your degree program. You have to talk to the advisors, that kind of idea, and find out. But this has both lecture and lab material, which is what I'm explaining here. So we've already covered everything for you. I already have everything in the folders. You'll see in your syllabus when you should be doing labs. Those dates are suggestions. Nothing's due until the day of the exam, but I'm trying to help you out. So always check the additional labs and see if I have anything else going on, but everything's posted for you. Read the lab, do the lab, ask me questions, that kind of idea. Posted files. So if you had me in a lecture class where you came to class or there are live lectures online, what I did is I took the notes from the author and I edited them. Take stuff out I don't need, put stuff in that wasn't there I do need, look for mistakes, that kind of idea. And so I took those and I posted them for you. Those are in essence a summary of the chapter. They are the edited chapters, which means you do not need to send me an email asking me what do I need to know for the exam. If it's in the PowerPoint, that's what you need to know. Anything extra that you see in the chapters, that's where I'll get my extra credit from. So buy the book. You need the book for 2 reasons. 1, extra credit is going to come from the extra stuff in your chapters and the homework, which I'm getting to momentarily. That's in your textbook as well. But what do you need to know in the exam? If it's in those lecture notes, you need to know it. It's that simple. Now, I get complaints too. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. This PowerPoint file was 50 slides long. Ridiculous. No, it's not. That's the edited version. That's the summary. You should have seen that file before I took the stuff out you don't need to know. The worst one I remember, it's one of my majors classes, majors bio 2. We get into like invertebrates and vertebrates. I think it was the vertebrate chapter. Invertebrates terrible too, but the invertebrate chapter, if I remember the situation correctly, it was something in the range of 200 slides, 220 slides, something like that. Have you ever seen a PowerPoint set that is 220 slides long? Have you ever seen a presentation like that? Probably not. People complain at 50 slides. Can you imagine what they would think when they saw a PowerPoint presentation that was over 200 slides long? Now, when I got that, then I did what I always do. Took the stuff out they don't really need to know, asked stuff and they do know, and look for a mistake. There's always errors. And I think I riddled it down to something like 99 slides. I took effectively half of the chapter out. It was really hard to do, but I did it. So yeah, I get it. There's a lot of stuff there. 50 slides to me is nothing when I'm looking at something like 200 slides. But that also tells you how dense science is. This is not a course about why bananas are good for you and say having a banana smoothie is not, although those are true things. That's not what the course is about. It's teaching you the science. So these are courtesies to you. Didn't have to do it. I could have just said, read the chapter and let me know if you have questions. This is meant to help you out. There's your homework. So homework is designed primarily to get you ready for the exams. To give you an idea, one of what kind of questions are you going to ask? How is it going to ask questions? The level of difficulty of questions. And then secondarily, to make sure you understand the material. Now, I grade the homework after the exams. So you don't need to stress about it as you get ready for the exams. The point here is not to get a question right or wrong. I grade my homework on effort. If you try all the questions and it looks like you gave it the old college try, you're going to get all the points. I'm not going to go through and say, well, that one's wrong, and that one's wrong, and that one's wrong, and that one's wrong. Wow, you're getting 10%. No. I'm using the homework to help you get ready for the exam. So don't stress about the homework grade. As long as you turn it in on time and you gave it a good go, you'll get all the points. Now, the homework then, once you've turned it in, you're done with it. I block it off. I do not have a cumulative final. So this unit, when you're done with it, you're done with it, which means I don't have to race to get you the homework back. If I see anything in the homework, I'll come to you. You maybe forgot that, maybe forgot this. Don't worry, I'll come to you if I see an issue. Now, as you're doing the homework, here's what I want you to do. You go in the back of the chapter, you go into whether it's the physical book or the online, and look at that set of questions. These are the practice tests at the end of those chapters, and just try it. Don't look back in your book. Don't look back in your notes. Just read the question, answer it. Read the question, answer it, and then grade it. The answers are in your book. Grade it. Now, when you get something wrong, what I would like for you to do is simply write out why you got it wrong. This is for you. Remember, I'm not grading on if you get it right or wrong. If you do it, whole homework's done, and you gave it a good try, you get all the points. The point of this is, however, so you learn, all right, I got it wrong because I simply didn't know, or I misread the question, or I read only half the question. Students do that all the time. Don't do that. Read the whole question. So you're trying to teach yourself, not just, okay, I need to go back and restudy carbohydrates. That's one thing. But then teach yourself how to take tests. Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that I wasn't reading the entire question. Okay, good to learn before you take an actual online test. Frankly, before you take any test. So just write it out. Okay, I got it wrong because of this. And that's it. Now, that's not for me. I'm not going to raise it. Okay. It's for you to help teach you, again, not just the right information, but how to prepare for the exams. Now, as I said, the homework's due on the day of the exam. So on the day of the exam, just email it to me. Now, I know it in Microsoft Words. Okay, fine. You type up your answers in Word. You email me the Word document on the day of the exam. There's my email address right there. You're done. Beauty. Some students don't want to do that. Some students write it out on notebook paper, then take a picture of their homework and then send me their homework that way. I don't care. Just send me your homework, and it's due on the day of the exam. Notice it's due by 11:59 p.m. on the day of the exam. It's not due by midnight, which means effectively the next day. Like anything else in college, late work's not accepted unless there are extenuating circumstances. And you can see those right here. Now, something will happen that's outside of this, and you wonder if it'll qualify. Ask me. Yeah, sure, there might be something, but these are the most common things. Yeah, so the state, not HEC, the state asks us to even make fully online as interactive as possible. This isn't my wonderful idea. This isn't my being clever or making you do more work. This came down from the state. So I'm going to post on Friday. Sometimes it happens Saturday only because, life gets crazy. A question for the class to ponder. It's not for me to go in and grade or anything. It's not what it is. It's not for me to say, well, you're right and you're wrong. No, it's just a question for you to talk about it. And this helps with you guys to explore the notes, be social, interact with each other, and find out, well, why is it that some people really like crisps and some people don't? Why is it people argue over whether or not supplements are good for you or supplements are bad for you? Or why people might say that actually buying things that are considered, say, I don't know, supplement could actually be dangerous. Maybe somebody believes that and somebody doesn't believe that. You can talk about that. It's a discussion board. Now, I usually let the conversation flow naturally. I usually step in when I see things get out of hand, like somebody's being rude. Don't be rude. There's no reason to be rude. You're an adult, right? You're in college, right? Don't do that. And so remember, it's not discussing personal issues or sensitive materials, that kind of idea. Grades, certainly don't bring that up there. Don't do that. It's for discussing the topic at hand. And those will typically happen on Friday. I'll usually open up on Friday and you get until the next Thursday to do it. I don't care when you do it. Just come in and say, well, I read the information the professor posted. Here's my thoughts on it. And then read what your colleagues are saying and say, oh yeah, Mrs. Smith, I really like what you said. And here's why I liked it. Or Mr. Smith, I don't really agree, but here's why I don't. What do you think about that? Be polite. There's nothing wrong with being constructive, right? It could be a whole lot of fun. But again, we'll try to do those once a week. The Gordon rule. Yeah, here we go. Now, remember this, the college decided that this course was going to be a Gordon rule class. This wasn't something that I did. I didn't go through and say, yeah, I really like Gordon rule. I love reading essays, so we're going to do this. No. Now, if you don't know what Gordon rule is all about, that typically means one or two things. Either you're new to college or you're new to College of Florida. Either way, welcome. And so here's what's going on. Way back when, a Senator Gordon, decided that college students were coming out woefully unprepared in mathematics and writing ability. No matter what you think, he's right about one thing. No matter where you go and what you do, you will always be graded on how you write and how you talk. That is how humans work. So with mathematics, that was pretty direct. They just said, all right, you're in this field, go to this math. college algebra, pre-cal, cal 1, cal 2, and you're done. Writing was a bit more challenging. What are they going to do? They can make you take an English 3, or they can do what they did choose. It's called writing across the curriculum. Here's the downside to that. First, I am not an English professor. So to try to make people, professors, who are not formally degreed in English function like an English professor, that's not fair to anybody. It's not fair to the students. It's not fair to the professor. Now, I took English classes, yes. I've been writing papers forever. But that's very different than being a trained English professor. But here we are. Second, what exactly am I going to teach you? So in science, let's just take biology, so it's a bio class. This idea of like APA, MLA doesn't exist. There's no formalized rule like that. So if I'm going to write a paper, let's say I want to publish it, I don't know, in the Journal of Marine Biology and Ecology. I have to go to that journal, go to any one of the manuscripts and say, yeah, all right, pull up that journal, open it up, look at the instructions to author and say, what do I need to do to format my paper to have it in the way they want it? How do I do everything? Structuring the title, structuring the columns. Is it a 2-column page or a single column page? Do I have an introduction? Do I have methods, materials? Do I have a conclusion, or do I just have a discussion? What do I need? It's not formalized like that. And certainly citations aren't. This journal has its way of citing. And that's just one journal. 70 different journals in biology and all the different fields of biology. So what am I going to teach you? So this becomes unwieldy, which means I had to be a little bit more loose in that regard. So I tried to make it direct, tried to give you some wiggle room while still telling you exactly what I wanted. And here's what I would like. Between the now and your turn-in date, you can see right there, the 7th of November, I would like for you to find 2 articles that relate to the subject matter. Any 2. For example, I noted eggs earlier. So I just went to Google, you can see right there, and I plugged in, are eggs healthy? Yeah, you get this all the time. Are they? Aren't they? Don't know. It's hard to say because one paper says this, one research paper says that. And it's not just the protein content and the cholesterol content. How about things like diabetes? There's some papers coming out that if people eat too many eggs, you might become diabetic. Oh boy, jeepers. So fine. Now notice, I plug this in, I hit enter. I got 50,500,000 results in 0.52 seconds. Don't write me an email saying, I can't find a paper. Really? I got 50 million possible answers in 0.52 seconds. And then just scroll through and find 2 papers. So, oh, there you go. Okay, great. It's safe to eat every day. Great. Plant-based diet is not always virtuous. Yeah, so that's always a curious one. I don't know if you saw this, but there's a big brouhaha going on right now, Cracker Barrel. Apparently, Cracker Barrel introduced plant-based substitutes, tastes like sausage, but is made from plant, to their menu. And people, a lot of them didn't react well to that. Why? Is it really healthy to eat this plant product? Generally speaking, the research says yes, but, and there's a huge but here. Don't think like, well, I'm eating a plant substitute that tastes like sausage. I'm being really healthy. No. You're being healthier than eating, yes, sausage, but you're not being nearly as healthy as eating an apple, an orange, and banana. So don't think, I'm eating that Impossible Burger from Burger King. I'm good to go. No, you're not. But it's better than. So there's discussions going on there. I'm not sure why this came up with eggs. So, well, there's eggs right there, so maybe that's why. 10 easy ways to use eggs. That's not really what we're after, but okay. Eggs can be healthy, but not if you're eating them like something or other. So again, there's plenty of stuff here. Or maybe you don't want to do eggs. Maybe you want to do, what did I pick? Is eating breakfast healthy? I get that one all the time. Should you or should you not eat breakfast? A lot of back and forth on this one. So find a few papers that relates to that. Great. How about this one? Which is more important, diet or exercise? I'm going to give away the answer. Both are important. Sorry about that. But like I was noting to you earlier, if I had to pick one, had like pin myself down and say, this has to be it, I would go with diet. Okay, so notice this one. 6 reasons why weight loss attempts aren't working. Okay. Regular exercise and healthy diet, but longevity. Yeah, again, both are important. Oh, there's a great one. You cannot exercise away a poor dietary choices. Yeah, that's right. You can't do it. You can't exercise your way out of an unhealthy diet. Yep, you can't do it. So again, how long did this one take? This took 0.5 seconds to find 41,600,000 possible results. And I'm sure in 41,600,000 possible papers, you can find Two. Two articles that relate to each other. That's it. And then here's what I want you to do. Give a summary of the articles. And that might seem a bit high schoolish, but there's a point to this. A lot of scientists know that the hardest part of a research paper to write is the abstract. The abstract is a summary. You have to take all this science and crush it down into a paragraph or two. That is not easy to do. So we're working on that skill. Compare and contrast the articles and then give your thoughts. Now, notice, well thought out and reasoned reactions. It's not something like, I thought it was a bunch of hooey and leave it at that. No. And certainly by the time it's due, this is near the end of the semester, almost right near the end. You've had, what, 3.5 months, 3 months worth of science? You should be able to articulate your position on the articles. Now, again, the college asked us to make it a bit more meaty. So there you go. And then a short letter cited. I do care how you cite it. You could pick APA, you could pick MLA. I do not care. Pick whatever you like. Now, people also ask, again, in other syllabi years ago, please make it specific. So how about this? It must be typed, double-spaced, Times New Roman font, size 12, 1-inch margins. Is that specific enough for you? And then, of course, turn it in by 11:59 p.m. on the day it's due. Not late papers. Now, here's another one. This one kind of blew my mind. Again, years ago. I had students saying, well, I don't think it's fair that you didn't assign me a topic. What? Are you in high school? This is not me going through the class. You're going to do this and you're going to do that. No, you are an adult. You are in college. You can figure out a topic yourself. And frankly, it's a courtesy you can. Do you really want to be saddled with a topic you have zero interest in? I'm giving you a luxury to pick whatever you like, as long as it relates to nutrition and drugs. Now, I gave you general ideas. As long as it relates to nutrition and drugs, you could pick astrobiology, bacteriology, biochemistry, biophysics, biotech, botany, including astrobotany. That is a real field. And in fact, because this new, I'm doing another graduate degree, but this new MS PhD track I'm now in, it's space sciences and aerospace science, the combination of the two. But the professor I'm working with, she's a geologist. And it's a combination of geology and biology. We are actually doing a project in astrobotany. And in this case, we're looking at how to effectively grow crops in space. Great, draws on all my biology background and deals with a combination of biology, including astrobiology and geology. It is an absolutely valid field. So how about that? If you become an astronaut and you're on your way to the moon, which in this case, going to the moon wouldn't be the issue, but living on the lunar surface would be. Or you're on your way to Mars, and not just the time it takes to get to that planetary body, but living on the surface of that body. Is the food nutritious? Just because you're eating lettuce, where did you get it? Is it a fresh plant? You know as well as I do that fresh is typically better than, say, I don't know, something that's in a can. So is it a fresh crop? Where did you get fresh lettuce on Mars? Well, you probably grew it then. How do you do that? How do you grow something in space in a microgravity environment, let alone on the Martian surface? So it's a valid field. Or cell biology, maybe how nutrition affects cells, or there's nutrition generally, why not? Generalisome, mycology, phycology, physiology, vert zoo, virology, I don't care. These are just general areas of science. Pick whatever tickles your fancy, as long as it relates to nutrition and or drugs. Now, when you choose your sources, notice they must come from something published, a .edu, a .gov, or mainstream media. I got asked, what does that mean? Well, that means ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox News, that kind of idea. But don't forget, almost anywhere you go has bias. For example, CNN tends to lean left. Not always, but they tend to. Fox News tends to lean right. Not always, but they often do. Okay, be aware of that. Just kind of keep it in mind. So you cannot use a video, you cannot use anecdotes. It has to be published work. The published work you choose has to be younger than 2 years. Science changes and certainly biology changes. There's your no anecdotes and reviews of movies. Don't do that. And again, you can't turn anything late. Now, this just came up again in our in-service last week. By state law, if a student does not pass the Gordon Rule portion of a Gordon Rule class, they automatically fail the class. Automatically. It doesn't matter what your grades are. You can ace every exam in a course. If you don't pass the Gordon Rule portion of a course, you automatically fail. That is state law. It's got nothing to do with HEC, nothing to do with me. Don't do that. Not turning in a Gordon rule assignment, a really good way to fail. Now, again, things happen. And that's what I'm noting here. If something does, talk to me. All right, examination. Yeah, so there are 4 exams in the course. They're going to be given through Canvas. When you do that, Canvas is really specific. You must take it on a desktop or a laptop. You can't do it on your phone. You can't do it on an iPad or any slate, nothing like that. You must do it in Google Chrome. This is from their tech system. This has nothing to do with me or HEC. It's what Canvas wants. Make sure your computer, operating system, browser, everything is updated. Of course, don't use your book, notes, calculators unless I say you can. You can't. And remember, I am not tech support. It doesn't work that way. If you run into tech issues, you have to go real quickly to Canvas and get help. If I go back here real fast, notice over here, there's that question, help. That's the link to tech support. Click it and figure out what's going on. Don't send me an email saying, well, I can't take the test or my computer hiccuped. Deal with tech support. I can't help you. I can't go into a computer and fix anything for you. Now, if you're claiming things happen, like say an internet outage, remember it can be checked. And I have caught a number of students cheating that way. That is a great way to fail. Don't do it. Now, all exams will be given the dates and the tentative schedule. It's at the end. I'm giving you the courtesy of taking it anytime you like from 9 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. on that day. Whenever you start the exam, you must sit down and take it. You can't start or stop, and you get exactly 100 minutes for it, which makes a bit of an issue only in that don't start later than 10:19 p.m. or you won't have 100 minutes. Don't do that to yourself. I cannot help you out. So think ahead, yeah? Now, outside of disabilities notes, which comes from the college, not from you, go and talk to the disabilities office, then they will send me paperwork. I can't extend test time, so don't do that. I will follow state law. My tests are usually 50 to 100 questions. If you don't like that, find a different class. Don't get grumpy. Don't get halfway through the course and realize, wow, it's just too much. And then go and blast me, I'll rate my professor. Oh, his tests are too long. I'm telling you on day 1 what's coming your way. Or I thought the questions were too hard. Really? What about all those homework questions? You knew exactly what was coming your way. You better have some responsibility then for your actions, yeah? So make sure you're okay with that. Now, I don't ask essay questions. The reason I stopped doing that was it takes forever to grade them. I do not know how English professors grade papers so fast. I just don't know how they do it. So I found out when I have 150 students and we have no help, I have to grade everything on my own. So it takes forever. It just takes forever. So yeah, I might give you a test in I don't know, early September and you get it back maybe in November because it takes forever. You're one class and right now I've got 6 of them and I might have 7 this semester and possibly even more. Yeah, it's hundreds and hundreds of students and we have no help in grading. So kind of keep that in mind. It takes forever. But on multiple choice test on Canvas, you get your grade back almost instantaneously. Fantastic, eh? But it also gives me wiggle room. Now, you should be aware that longer tests are better than shorter tests. They're longer for 2 things. You got a lot of notes. So I found out if I only give you 30 questions, people got grumpy with that. I studied all of this material and it wasn't on the test. Okay, a longer test then to cover everything that's in the notes. Not everything, mind you, but to give a good overall view of what's in the notes. And then by having longer tests, you have better chance for extra credit. If I only had 30 questions, you might get a few questions, that's it. This gives you more room for that. And then third, longer tests means more wiggle room for you. Maybe you don't do well on this area, but you do well on that area. Okay, so in that case, if you had 100 questions and you miss 15, that's a lot to miss, but you still got a B. If you have 30 questions and you miss 15, obviously you failed. So longer tests have much more benefit to students. Kind of keep that in mind. Now, when you take it, you're going to get the questions one at a time and you cannot go back. There are reasons for that. There's been a lot of discussion over the years, especially since COVID in 2019. What's best for online test taking? A lot of discussion. This isn't just me coming at it. If you want to go over an exam, send me a email to request Teams and I will help you out. If you miss a test, you better have a very good reason. Here are the main reasons. And if makeup tests are granted, it's probably going to be an old exam where you get to come on to Teams and I get to ask you questions. Explain how proteins function in ribosomal protein synthesis. How do you make a protein? Okay. So again, take this seriously. Make sure you're there for the test. Don't play games. I won't play games. Grading. All right. So this is how I broke down my system. I use a weighted system. So you can see how much each thing is worth. There's exam 1, 2, 3, 4. I do not have a cumulative exam, so the last test is your final. There's your Gordon rule, and there's your homework. It doesn't look like homework's worth much, but this is 20% of your grade. I give you a lot for homework. And remember, as long as you're giving the homework a good try and you turn it on time, you get all the points. This is a courtesy to you. Homework is worth your time, and it should not be stressful. Now, I'm giving you an example of how the weighted system works. This is a fake student, a fake class. I'm just showing you. So notice for this fake student, the fake class, exam 1, they got 63 points out of 70. It's a 90%. Great job. So 15% of the grade is at 90%. You can see it right there. 15% of the grade is at 90%. Exam 2, 72 points out of 84. They got an 85.7%. That's 50% also the grade. You can see it right there. 50% of the grade, 85.7, and so forth, including the homework and the Gordon rule. Now in this case, notice I gave them 15 out of 20. Remember, this is a fake student. Who knows what they did? Maybe they forgot to have a literature cited or something like that. So, okay, a few points off. So you can see 75%, that's 20% of the grade. And there it is right there. Sorry, there's a little window in the way. So in that case, then you can see at the end of the semester, I just tally up the points. There you go. The student got an 89.5. Now notice with this fake student, the fake class, I gave them that grade just to show you that being a scientist, I like mathematics, so I follow the rules of mathematics. And by the rules of mathematics, if you get a 0.5, I'm allowed to round up. I did. Great job. You got a fake A. Hey, fake, great job. Now I'll also carry that over to final grades. Here you go. 89.5 100 is an A, 79.5, 89.4 is a B, and so forth. Remember, if you cheat, you fail. And I have the right to fail you in the course, not just on that test. Don't cheat. It's not worth it. Cell phone page recorders. I have it in here. One is state law, even though you might be thinking, well, this is online again. Why do I need that? It's state law, letting you know how it works. And who knows, maybe you have a Teams meeting with me or something like that. But there you go. Talking in class, again, same thing. This is more like if we have a group meeting of some kind. I mean, it's happened before. It's just not trying to make sure people don't do things in a wieldy fashion. Extra credit, you will see it only on your exams, and it's my discretion will be there. It is not appropriate to request and or demand something, which has happened before. Remember, check your announcements regularly, including on non-class days and weekends. Important notes. My background is specifically biology, which generally breaks down into botany, ecology, zoology, and then geology. That's my primary background. Yes, even though I'm moving into space science, I'm still using biology and geology within the guise of space science. So I am not now, nor will I ever be a medical doctor. Medicine comes up a lot. This is, of course, nutrition and drugs, so medicine comes up a lot. But remember, I'm not a medical doctor, nor will I ever be one. It's just not what my cup of tea is. So please don't try to make me out to be one of your medical doctors. That has happened more times than I could tell you. I won't answer those kind of questions. If you have any medical questions, go find a board-certified medical doctor. Highlight it. Apparently I can't. Board-certified medical doctor. There you go. If you're absent for a while, you're responsible to go in and read the notes and read the syllabus and then ask me questions. If you have a disability, I've given you all the contact information here. As I was saying a few minutes ago, I am not allowed to do anything for anybody until you talk to them. It's a state law. So you can't send me an email saying, I need 3 hours for the test. Okay, go and talk to them. They will figure out what needs to be done. They will send me the paperwork, and then I'll do whatever it says. It's fine with me, but I'm following state law. Once I get that, then I'm allowed to help you. So these are a little bit scary, but it's good on the college they have this. Notice the agency offers free counseling services. They do that through Baycare. I believe that there it is, Baycare. It's a tough world, isn't it? There's a lot going on. And not just in our independent individual lives, but look at the bigger world generally, everything and all these illnesses that are happening, the wars that are happening, the economy, how expensive things are, how hard it is to have enough food, clothing, shelter, and then, of course, getting medical services. It's a really stressful world. And that's before money issues and before relationship issues, before if you actually get sick, whatever it may be. Most people need to talk to somebody at some point. Please understand that now in the United States, it is considered a mark of health to speak to somebody when you need to. Don't let it like build up inside and then come out and it hurts yourself or it hurts someone else. Don't do that. And it's not just amazing HSC has this, it's free. free professionals to talk to about whatever you need to. This would be massively expensive if you're doing it other places, particularly if you don't have health insurance. I've got a friend who's going through that actually. She's a good friend. She's a nurse. She got addicted to pills. It ruined her life. Not only is she no longer a nurse, she had to give up her license. She understood, but she has been in 3 inpatient centers now, and she's regularly sees a psychologist and a psychiatrist. And she was telling me, "Yeah, I'm doing this without insurance." She doesn't have it. She doesn't have a job anymore. I've lost track of how much money she spent. I mean that seriously. I know the first place she went to, if I remember correctly, she said she spent $150,000 to spend 2 weeks at that center. Oh. And she's been to 3 centers now. Oh my gosh. I don't know how she's going to pay for this. No, I understand why she's doing it. Absolutely. And my hats off to her. She's trying to save her life. Absolutely. Not just save her life, but stay out of jail and not hurt others. Kudos to her for trying. It's a struggle, mind you. But she's doing it without insurance. HCC is trying to help you. And that connects to the next one, the Speak Up HCC. If you hear anybody threatening themselves, the colleagues, you, the college, whatever it is, talk to us. Let us know what's going on. This is meant to get help for those students. Help before anything happens to them or anybody else, including the school. I've seen this in action before. The most direct I remember, I had a student in an environmental science class years ago that, from what I understand, ended up directly threatening the dean and the college. I don't know what they were angry about. It had nothing to do with me. It came out later that the student was schizophrenic and had not been taking their medicine. It was not going well. So from what I was told, nothing specific. It's none of my business, nor can they say anything. But the college worked with a student to go get help. They were gone for a semester or 2. Then they came back and continued on their way like nothing had happened. Perfect. That's exactly what it's for, to get people help so they keep themselves and everyone around them safe, and so they can continue in life. This works. Just use it appropriately. There's the equity statement. It means no matter where you are at HSC, no matter what class you're taking at HSC, you should feel comfortable and welcomed. No matter what the situation is, race, color, gender, religion, national origin, age, disability, sexual orientation, marital status, et cetera, whatever it is, you should feel comfortable and safe at HSC. And if that is not happening, talk to us. Right, and pretty much last but not least, your tentative schedule. I'm noting here things that might get in the way of a tentative schedule. That's why I have this. I used to have at the very beginning, 20 years ago, I just said schedule. And people quickly point out, yeah, you can't do that. You got to have tentative in front of it because you never know what's going to happen. Like pandemic, fire, storms, these little things called hurricanes, terrorist threats, professor emergency, whatever it is. Remember, we are in hurricane season and things typically start getting busy around this point. Statistical height of hurricane season is mid-September. So, keep a track. So you never know what's going to happen. So with that, check regularly. Now, some dates are concrete. For example, tomorrow things start. I did this on the day before just because I wanted it as applicable as possible to the next day. Things change. There's your quiz and your syllabus, like I noted earlier, on the 24th. An email from you to me, to my agency email saying you want to stay in by the 26th. Now, these 2 dates, like all labs, these are just suggestions. You can do them whenever you want between the start, 8:15, and your first exam on September 19th. They're just suggestions. But a concrete date is your first exam. Exam 1, September 19th by 11:59 p.m. It will be on the labs. There you are, these 2 labs here, and these chapters in your ebook or your physical book. Exam 2, we only have 1 lab and there's several activities within it. You can do whatever you want between the 12th and the 3rd of October. I don't care when you do this work. It's up to you. You have questions, let me know. But the date is firm for the test. It'll be on this lab and the activities in it, and these chapters: carbohydrates, fats and lipids, and proteins. Lab 3, lab unit 4, I should say, lab activities of cardiovascular fitness, and then exam 3. Again, you can do the lab stuff whenever you want, but the date is firm for the exam. You can put it on the load labs, the activities on cardiovascular fitness, vitamins, water and minerals, and energy balance, weight control, that kind of idea. Will all be on the 3rd exam on the 26th of October. Your Gordon rule is a firm date. It's due on the 7th of November. Again, you can do this lab whenever you want, but you must have it done by the final, which is set by the college pretty much on the 30th of November. That's when finals actually been. Really early, right after Thanksgiving, but that's when they begin. It doesn't mean saying you do not have a cumulative final. It's just on this lab set of activities and then these chapters. Nutrition for physically active lifestyles, food safety, nutrition for a lifetime, and the drugs, tobacco, and alcohol. So there you go. To the schedule. And then I have this section on frequently asked questions. I put it here so you can save yourself some time instead of having to ask me a question like, what time is the exam? Well, go look in the syllabus. What I'm saying here, it's in the examination portion. You don't need to send me an email on that. Do I need to buy the class materials? I've already answered that question for you. Again, I'm trying to save you some time. All right, so that's everything in your syllabus. Go back to the very first page. There you go. Go ahead and close that, and I don't need these anymore. Okay, so that was your files link. Now, for the McGraw-Hill materials, you either need the ebook or the physical book. You do not need both. Do not care which one you buy. You don't need both. But this is already linked. Now, if you want the ebook, you have to go to the bookstore, buy the access code. Everything you need is in the access code. Then register on your end, on your computer, and then you should be able to get in connect. I've already got my course linked for me. This is like me doing the access code. You have to do it for yourself. You need that access code again from the bookstore, and then you get what you want. You would click this, go to my connect section. When you do, you see this. There's the book right there. Click on the book, and there it is. And then you can go to whatever you want. Just pop on down to one of the chapters. How about chapter 3? I don't know, just came to mind. There it is, chapter 3. And you can start reading through. Why did it do that? I clicked chapter 3. They love to play around. So let's try that again. It should go right to chapter 3. Okay, so it's just being a bit fussy. I have to scroll down a bit more. It's all here. They love to re-encode these things. Oh, there it is. There you go. Go to chapter 3. And interesting, how do you shop properly at a grocery store? It's a very interesting picture, actually. Yeah, it's a big deal. Coming in with a list, grand idea. Not coming in hungry, grand idea. Making sure you buy your dry goods first, then fruits and veggies, then frozen, and making sure fruits and veggies and like meats never touch, and then go check out. So this is really important how to do this. There you go. Here's chapter 3. It's here. There's quizzes to take, that kind of idea. Yeah, so again, just work your way through it. It's all here for you. But again, you only need the ebook or the physical book. They're exactly the same between one or the other. Remember, you need the access code from the WMP bookstore. Please don't send me an email saying, well, I can't get it to work. Sorry to hear that. You have to talk to McGraw-Hill and work it out with them. I can't help you with tech stuff. Like I said earlier, all of your tests, they call it quizzes, but all your exams are online for you. They're ready to go. Notice exam 1, not available until September 19th at 9 a.m. That's when it opens. Now you can click this link and take it whenever you want between 9 a.m. and again, it closes 11:59 p.m. Don't take it any later than like 10:19 p.m. on that day, September 19th. But you can see you can't even access it right now. I could, but you can't on your end. But they're all here, ready to go. Grades, of course, are just that. I have the library here for you in case you need it for something. There you go. And you just click this link and it opens up. Hopefully. Yeah, sometimes links work. Yeah, once I log in, but that's fine. So again, there you go. So that's the course in a nutshell. Get out of this planning thing. You can't see it on your end, but there's a little bar now on top of the window. And it's one of the annoyances actually in Teams. But there you go. There's your course in a nutshell. It is lovely to meet you all. If you have any questions, let me know. For now, what I recommend is start reading chapter 1, which means get your book, physical book, ebook, whatever you like. Get ready for that extra credit quiz. The extra credit quiz is on your syllabus. Just read it once. You should be fine. And then, of course, don't forget to send me that email. Beyond that, if you have any questions, let me know. With that, again, it's lovely to meet you, and I hope you enjoy the class. Bye, everybody. Have a lovely, lovely, not only day, of course, this will be open for you on the first day of class, but I hope you have a lovely semester as well.